Good morning, African Stars International School, Grade 7 learners. I'm Mr. Julius, your math teacher. The topic for today's lesson is decimal numbers and percentages. But for today, I just want us to look at decimal numbers, okay? And then in the next lesson, we are going to look at percentages. Okay. Here, I want us to look at multiply and divide decimal numbers by decimal numbers. Okay, so first let's look at multiplication. Multiply decimal number by decimal numbers. Okay, here it's like you are given two decimal numbers that are multiplying each other. Okay, there are some procedures to do that. There are some procedures to follow. Okay, here you say when you multiply a decimal number by another decimal number, multiply the numbers without the decimal points. That means here you can just remove the decimal points in your decimal numbers, and then you do your multiplication. Then lastly, when you got the answer, put the decimal point at the correct place in your answer. Okay, let's look at this example to see how is that done. So for example, here we have 6.37 multiplied by 4.7. Okay, these are two decimal numbers. Like we said, to do that, you can just remove this decimal points. When I remove the decimal points, I left with, now I have 637 multiplied by 47. Okay, so we can easily multiply those numbers without using a calculator. You can just say this is equal to 6,337 multiplied by 47. Okay. Now to use this method, you are just going to multiply the top digits by the bottom digits one by one. Okay? So it starts with 7. You start with multiplying by 7. Say 7 multiplied by 7. Here you are getting 49. Okay, but you only write here the last digit. Then the 4 you give it away on top there to the next digit. The 4 come here. Then you go to 3. Say 3 multiplied by 7. Now 3 multiplied by 7, that is giving you 21. Then you add this 4 on top here. 21 plus 4 is giving you 25. Again, you only write down the last digit. Then the 2 give it away to the next digit here, which is 6. On top here, you put it the 2 here. Okay, that's our 2. Then lastly we say 6 multiplied by 7. If you multiply 6 by 7, you are getting 42. But remember, we have a 2 on top here, and you have to say 42 plus 2, you are getting now 44. Okay, but this time you have to write the whole 44 here because there's no other digit here. 6 was the last digit on that. Okay, now we are done multiplying by 7. So we go to 4. But to multiply with 4, first you start with a 0 here, because you can see that 4 is at tens place. So down here at units place, we should always put a 0. Let me write my 0 here. Okay, put a 0 here. Okay, and then start by saying 7 multiplied by 4 is 28. Okay, the same thing, you can put the 28 here, the 8, then the 2 give it away on top. But here now we can just remove this number, we don't need them anymore. Okay, let's pick a different color. Okay, the 2, put it here. Okay, remember this 2 is 7 multiplied by 4 is 28. I put an 8 then the 2 come up here. Then from there you say 3 multiplied by 4. You multiply 3 by 4, you are getting 12. Getting 12, then you have to say 12 plus this 2 to give you 14. Then you put the 4 here. Then the 1 you give it away on top, then the 1 come here. Then lastly we go to 6. 6 multiplied by 4. If you multiply 6 by 4, you are getting 24. Then you add the 1, then you're getting 25. Then you put the 25 here. The 2 come here. Oh, sorry. Just doing that. Okay, the 2 come here. At this point we are done multiplying, so just need to add those two answers to get the final answer. So to add these two, you have to say 9. You start here always. 9 plus 0 is just 9. 5 plus 8 to give you 13. You write the 3 here, then you give away the 1. 1 plus 4 is 5, plus 4 is 9. 4 plus 5 is also 9. Then here is just 2. It's like you're saying 0 plus 2, which is just giving you 2. Okay, that's our answer, but this answer is only for 637 multiplied by 47. To get the answer to 6.37 multiplied by 4.7, here we need to place the decimal point in this answer at the correct place, of course. So to do that, you can just come back to this calculation, okay? It is given, then you say you count how many digits after the decimal point. Let me say how many numbers after the decimal point. Okay, if you count, but you have to count them together. Start here, you can say 1, 2, 3. Okay, that means the answer in your answer here you should have 3 numbers after the decimal point. You can see 1, 2, 3, and then your decimal point has to come here. Okay? That's why I say here, therefore 6.37 multiplied by 4.7 is giving you 29.939. Okay, that's our answer. Okay, let's move on. Now let's look at division now. How to divide decimal numbers by decimal numbers. Again, to do that, you say when you divide a decimal number by another decimal number, you can change the problem in such a way that you divide with a whole number. You can change it in such a way that you divide by whole number. Let's look at the example here. We have 1.74 divided by 0.3. But since it says you can change your problem in such a way you divide by a whole number, so we need to change this 0.3 to a whole number. To do that, you can just move this decimal point one step backward, then to become here. That's when you get 3. But you do the same here to this number also. You move it back one step to come between here. So that's why we have now 17.4 divided by 3. Okay, to get our answer here, since we don't use calculators, we can just do the wrong division. We can do our wrong division here. We have 17 inside point, it's my point 4. Okay, now you start by saying, can this 3 go into 1? No, 3 cannot go into 1. Then you add the 7. Now together you have 17. Now how many times does this 3 goes into 17? Okay, 3 can only go into 17 5 times. Then from there you say this 5 multiplied by 3, that's giving you 15. Okay, 15. Then from this point you subtract, save 17 minus 15, you're getting a 2. And here the decimal point should go up. Okay, so my decimal point is always following the answer. Okay, then the 4 here come down. That's why now we have 24. Then you start over. Say, how many times does this 3 goes into 24? Okay, 3 can only go into 24 8 times. Let me just put the 8 here. Then from there you say 8 times 3 is giving you 24. Then from there you subtract. You can see that here we are getting 0. Okay, that means our answer here is 5.8. You can see here, that's what I gave you, 5.8. That's our answer. Okay, here is your exercise. If you go in your textbook, the exercise number, the page, where in this first exercise, I just want you to do number 2 and 9, only number 2 and 9, where you are multiplying decimal numbers. And then the second one, I want you to do 2 and 4. Here we are dividing decimal numbers by decimal numbers. Okay, well, we have come to the end of our lesson, and the answers to the exercise will be provided in the next lesson. So please remember to stay safe, wash your hands, stay away from crowded places. Okay, thank you.